Hi, this is Abe Wesley. That ain't who tells it like a TI is. If you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like my channel, please subscribe. The topic I'm going to talk to you today about is the Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 14, Episode 2, called All Aboard the Gaslighting. It started off with Sonya, and it started off at Sonya. It started off at Sonya's house with her mother, and her sister talking. They were talking about bean pies, and Sonya said, Sanya, I keep calling her Sonya. Sanya said that she had ordered a whole lot of beef pies, and when she went to go get a beef pie, they were gone. And she was saying, who don't know who ate up all the beef pies? And the mother was complaining about she had her own box of beef pies, and they was going back and forth about the beef pies. And then Sonya also said that there's 9 people living in a house. And I said, 9 people? And then she said, yeah, it's her husband and her one little boy, and then her mom and dad, and then her sister, and her sister's 2 kids, and her sister's husband. And I was saying, why she got all them people living with her? And she claimed that all those people are going to be living with her in that house for a year, and then if they still decide, if they still want to move to Atlanta permanently, then they'll keep that house, and then the rest of the family members will move out. And I'm looking at, they should all get their own apartment anyway. But I guess since she's from over there from Jamaica, I guess she wanted all her family members around her. I remember when she had that show on WeTV, it was the same way. She had her mom and dad living with her, and her sister was living, but then her sister moved out for a little bit. But I guess now her sister and her husband are back in. But to me, that's too many people in that house. And then it switched to the next scene where Sheree was at her house, and she was talking to her mother, and she was telling her mother that Keyna is supposed to be coming over to visit. And while she was doing that, the doorbell rang, and then Sheree ran out of the kitchen and went to the door, and there was Keyna at the door, and she opened the door for Keyna and said, "Oh, I'm glad you came. I'm glad you came, Keyna." And then she said, "Yeah, I want to show you that I finished my basement." And then in her confessional, Sheree said, "Yeah, she wanted to show her basement because the last time Keyna was at her house, Keyna snuck down in the basement, and the basement wasn't ready." And she said, "I'm gonna show this botch just how pretty I decorate the basement." So they went down to the basement, and then Keyna was looking around and said, "Ooh, Sheree, this is very nice. This is good. You finally got it fixed. She said, "Oh yeah, I got it fixed. It looks nice. It looks real beautiful. You can have lots of party events and stuff down here." Then when she got in her confessional, Keyna said, "That Bravo money paid for that. Bravo paid for that." I was saying, yeah, everybody saying who paid for it, but Keyna, you probably right. Them checks that she was getting from Bravo probably did help her finish her house. I don't know, but everybody's wondering where Sheree got the money from to finish that house, because that basement looks real pretty, and even Sheree's whole house looked pretty. And next thing you know, Sheree and Keyna were sitting down talking, and Keyna told Sheree, they was talking about Marol's event, and both of them said that Marol's event was kind of tacky to them, and it should have been done better, more quality, should have been done better and stuff like that. And then that's when Keyna told Sheree that Drew said that they both have the same assistant, and the assistant said that he stopped working for Sheree because Sheree didn't pay him. And then Sheree talking about, what? Who said that? She said, he said something similar to that. She said, Sonya was right there. Let me. And so what happened? Keyna called Sonya, and they FaceTimed him. And then Sonya said, yeah, he did say something about you didn't pay him, and there's a whole lot of other people that you didn't pay. And you left your customers hanging, and that's why. And she shook her head, and then Bravo put up all of the tabloid tweets where people were suing Sheree for money and stuff like that, for non-payment and stuff like that. And then after that, it switched to the next scene where Drew was at her house with her husband. And with her husband and her family, and they were getting ready to eat dinner, and then the chef brought the dinner to the table, and when the chef left, he said, ooh, I had a meeting with Todd, and me and Todd talked about the massage situation and all that kind of stuff. And I'm glad I talked to Todd because Todd is a man that understands. She said, oh, by the way, I talked to Kandi about it too, and Kandi found the massage. Kandi found the massage assistant online. What? He said, yeah, she found that stuff online and stuff like that. And he said, and she said, well, what's going on now? He said, well, Drew, I already fired the woman. Why you and Kandi and y'all still talking about I already fired the woman? Y'all keep on bringing up the stuff. And then Drew said, well, you not still talking to that woman? He said, no, I'm still talking to her. We still talk, but like I said, we're not working together. We're not having a working relationship. And then he gonna throw it up in Drew's face. Why you all concerned? That woman is 50 years old. I do not care if she's 50 years old or 25 years old. If she's 50 years old, why were you scared to give Kandi and Drew and all them information and stuff like her? And even some 50-year-old women look good and stuff like that. Because Janet Jackson in her 50s, she look good and stuff like that. And people don't think I'm the age that I am, but still, you got some old cougars out there too that be wanting them young men. So Drew has a right to be concerned. And then so she said, oh, okay, you know, that kind of have me feeling the way. She went up to the second, got the thing, and he said, well, if you don't want me to talk to her, just say that. She said, no. She said, because if I say that, then later on down the line we get into it, then you'll blame me for it, and then I don't want to be the cause of everything. I don't want you to have no hard feelings get me. He said, I already have hard feelings get you about certain stuff. She said, what? That got me feeling some kind of way. And then Drew looked kind of funny. And then it switched to the scene where Marol was talking to her nephews about the prom, and then she asked her nephew, was he nervous about the prom, and he said yeah, kind of, sorta. And then they showed Marlo and her manager taking her nephew, I think his name is Michael, to the suit shop to try on some suits, some suits to wear to the prom. Then it switched to the next scene, where they showed a little bit of Kenya talking to her daughter, Brooklyn, about she should help her do some stuff. That was just a little cute scene that went back there here and forth. And then it switched to the scene of Kandi talking to her manager on the phone about the play, and she said she was happy that she was producing an all-male play and stuff. And then Todd walked in the room and she said, I'll talk to you later more about it. And then so Kandi told Todd that she needed him to help her while she's away producing that all-male tour. And he said, Kandi, you always be gone away for months, and I always have to help you. And he said, she said, well, you be gone too. He said, I only be gone on vacations. And she said, okay, you gonna help me? He said, yeah. And then so she said, well, let's go down to the basement because we need to clean out the basement. And they had a whole lot of furniture, a whole lot of stuff down there. And so Kandi said, well, maybe we can put some of this stuff in storage until we get ready to sort it out and pick it out or whatever. And then Todd said, some of this stuff can go up to my New Jersey apartment. Kandi said no. He said, why you don't want that stuff to go to New Jersey apartment? I got a whole apartment in New Jersey. She said, no, it's not going there. She said, we probably just put it in the storage. She said, my name is not on that lease. And then I said, well, my name is not on the lease for this house. What's going on? Then in the confessional, Kandi said, I don't want to put none of my furniture in the house. That's the house that Todd had with his ex before we got together. I don't want to have nothing to do with that house. I'm sorry, if I was Todd, I would rent that house out, rent it as Airbnb, or maybe sublet it, or maybe give it to my daughter when she come out of school for the summer. It's something that can be done with that house. But I'm surprised that Todd's name is not on Kandi's house that they got in Atlanta. So, some people kind of giving a side at thinking Todd was doing other stuff, but I don't think so. I think it's just that was an apartment that Todd paid money for and house for when he was working maybe for Todd for the part, or maybe working in Atlanta, and he bought that apartment. But anyway, It went back to the scene. It went back to the scene where Marlo was trying to teach her nephews how to dance for the prom and stuff like that. And they were all looking sideways at Marlo because Marlo didn't really know how to do the dancing and stuff either. And she said, "Well, are you still nervous about it?" He said, "Yeah, I'm still nervous." Okay, he said, "I'm nervous about these girls bumping up into me, the Me Too, Me Too movement stuff." And then Marlo said, "I don't know nothing about that." And then the manager said, "Well," I'll handle that, Marlo. I'll handle that for you, Marlo." And so they kind of showed her doing that, and then it switched back to the next scene, and the next scene was with Drew. The next scene was with Drew. With Drew at her house, exercising for the dropping by Drew stuff. And then Sayna FaceTime in and wanted to make sure that her husband was there. They said, "Oh yeah, we've been working out." And then so when Sayna got off the phone, the trainer interrupted the session and said it was time to go. And then after that, Ralph said he had a surprise for Drew after that. And Drew said, "Oh, you got a surprise for me." And then it switched back to the scene. Where Marlo was going to the factory to see Kandi to get some advice of Kandi about her nephews and stuff. And Kandi was all in makeup. She said she was doing a Halloween photo shoot. And so Kandi asked Marlo how was she doing and how was the boys, and Marlo said the boys was doing okay and she was doing okay, but she said she wanted to get some advice from Kandi because they were teenagers and stuff. And she was saying, "Well, how you run teenagers? And you know they come from a different background just like me." She said, "My mom was on drugs and I had to go to foster care, and foster care really helped me." She said, "I'm really helping them, and they got nice things and they have nice things now. They come from." And then Kandi say, "Why come when it come to black people, we always have to come from a struggle? Why come we just can't have nice things because we worked hard and stuff like that?" And she said, "Well, with black folks, we always got a blanket struggle, and the producers blank that out and click that out." And she was saying, "Well, yeah, Kandi, we've been knowing each other for years, and you haven't invited me over your house." And then Kandi said, "Well, Marlo," she said in a confessional, that seemed like when Marlo was dating her god brother, they was all right. But she said it seemed like when Marlo got in certain circles and certain places, Marlo started backing away from her and shading her. And she said, "Well, Marlo, you need to be the friend that you want other people to be, so other people could be her." And she said, "Well, you ain't even," and she said, "Marlo, you ain't invited me on her house." Then Marlo kept on trying to push stuff you can't. Say, "Well, I'll think about it." She said, "Well, I gotta go get out of this makeup now, Marlo." And then they ended Marlo walked out, and then they ended the conversation. Then next thing you know, Drew was getting ready to go to the surprise dinner. She had her makeup artist put on her makeup and stuff like that. And so she had on this short yellow shimmy dress, and she wore the yellow shoes, and she was waiting for the limo driver. Then the limo driver pulled up, and she got in the limo, and then she came to the event, to the place. And she said, "Ooh, all these suits." He said, "This is my friend's shop," and he got this little part. He got this little part in the back room, in the basement. This little part. He had them red flowers all over the thing and everything. And so he pulled out the seat for Drew, and Drew sat down. And then he said, "How you like it?" She said, "Ooh, everything is real pretty. It's real good. I like it and everything." He said, "I just want to let you know that you're the most special woman in the world. I mean, I want you to feel that. I want you to." And so Drew said, "Yeah, I'm happy about this, and we can celebrate this." She said, "But I want to celebrate the highs, but I want to make sure that we are cool and that we can work on the lows as well." He got all mad, talking about, I look like I can't do nothing for you. You ain't appreciating nothing I do for you, nothing I do for you." She said, "No, I'm just saying, I'm just saying. He said, well, I look like I shouldn't have done nothing for you then, like I should have done nothing for you then. And then Drew say, no, I just wanted to talk about it. And then Drew got mad. And she got upset and she started crying and she walked out the room and she was talking a little bit. She said, I'm tired of this, is what we go through all the time. It's like I can't say nothing to him. It's like I have to walk on eggshells. Producers made her go back and then she sat back down. And then he said, you know what? First thing she did was she thought, you know what? I'm going to talk to the therapist Ken, about you learning how to talk to men. And she said, what? Learn how to talk to men? And then she said, well, the therapist, Dr. Ken, I'm going to have you to the therapist, Dr. Ken, too. Dr. Ken also said something about being a maniac. Maniac? That ain't me. I ain't nothing like no maniac. What you talking about? She said, no, you kind of have maniac tendencies. That is not me. He got so mad. He got so mad and walked up and left Drew. Drew was sitting there at the table by herself, and the show ended. He's a very, very toxic man. This situation kind of reminds me of season 13 when Mark was doing Kenya like that and stuff like that. But the only difference is that Mark did Kenya like that in front of a whole lot of people. Ralph tried to do his little stuff behind the scenes where nobody could see it. But he is kind of toxic, and baby Twitter was eating him up like white on rice a Sunday night. And I'm so glad and stuff like that. I'll put the ratings in at the end of this video if they're out today. This is Abe Wesley. That ain't who tells it like a T.I. is. I am out.